Hollywood has always had its own silent rulebook of beauty. Fair skin, straight hair, delicate features. For decades, these narrow ideals decided who got to shine under the spotlight and who was left in the shadows. But then came the change. A revolution led by 25 extraordinary black actresses who shattered that old mold. They didn't just enter Hollywood. They reshaped it. With every role, every red carpet, and every fearless performance, they proved that true beauty isn't defined by complexion or conformity. It's defined by confidence, presence, and soul. Their beauty doesn't whisper, it roars. It demands attention, commands respect, and radiates power. These women turned the camera into their canvas and rewrote what it means to be beautiful in Hollywood. So, who are these trailblazing icons who changed the game forever? Stay tuned, because their names, their strength, and their stories will leave you absolutely spellbound. Halle Berry. Halle Berry, the radiant trailblazer who didn't just break Hollywood's glass ceiling, she shattered it into a million glittering pieces. Long before diversity became a buzzword, Halle carved her name into cinematic history as the first black woman to win the Academy Award for Best Actress, thanks to her hauntingly raw performance in Monsters Ball. With her elegance, talent, and undeniable presence, she became the face of power, grace, and resilience, starring in everything from Boomerang to John Wick 3, redefining what it truly meant to be an A-list star. But behind the red carpets and flashing cameras lies a story of quiet defiance, one that forever changed the beauty industry. In 1996, while her career was skyrocketing, Halle set her sights on the world of cosmetics. With her flawless skin and magnetic charm, she seemed destined to represent a global beauty brand. Yet when she approached Revlon, the response was cold and cutting. Women of color aren't our main customers. They don't sell lipstick. It wasn't just rejection. It was a statement that echoed decades of exclusion. Halle didn't flinch. She turned that insult into fuel. Every red carpet moment became a declaration that beauty isn't confined by color. Her perseverance paid off. Just 2 years later, Revlon came crawling back with a multi-million-dollar offer, naming her their global ambassador. Her campaigns soon graced more than 100 countries, and Revlon sales skyrocketed by over 30%. But the real victory wasn't in numbers, it was in representation. After Halle, doors that had been sealed for generations finally opened. Queen Latifah fronted CoverGirl. Rihanna revolutionized makeup with Fenty Beauty. Lupita Nyong'o became the face of Lancome. Suddenly, beauty aisles looked like the world, vibrant, inclusive, and unapologetically diverse. Halle Berry's legacy isn't just her Oscar, her blockbusters, or her timeless allure. It's her courage to challenge an industry that told her no, and to turn that no into a global yes. Her triumph was more than personal. It was cultural. A transformation that still empowers women everywhere to see themselves, not as exceptions, but as the standard of beauty itself. Viola Davis. Viola Davis, the queen of natural curls who turned a red carpet into a revolution. She's not just an Academy Award-winning powerhouse from Fences or the fearless mastermind of How to Get Away with Murder. Viola Davis is a force of nature, a trailblazer who dared to demand respect in an industry that rarely gave it freely. But her road to glory wasn't lined with gold. It was paved with rejection, doubt, and years of being told she wasn't pretty enough to be the leading lady. That lie echoed through casting rooms, whispered behind closed doors, shaping an image Hollywood tried to box her into. Then came the 2012 Oscars. Viola stepped onto the red carpet, and time stopped. No wig, no straightened hair, just her radiant, proud, and unfiltered, wearing her natural curls like a crown. It wasn't just a look, it was a declaration, a rebellion against the beauty standards that had long tried to silence her power. The impact was instant. Within hours, searches for Viola Davis natural hair exploded over 1,000%. Fashion icons from Vogue to the New York Times called it a cultural reset. That night, Viola didn't just walk the carpet, she walked into history. From overlooked to unstoppable, She became the face of a new era, one where black beauty was no longer hidden, but celebrated on its own terms. And she didn't stop there. A few years later, Viola made history again as the first black woman to win an Emmy for a lead drama role. By 54, she stood as a L'Oréal Paris ambassador, proof that true beauty, power, and grace don't fade with age. They evolve. That 2012 red carpet wasn't just a fashion moment. It was a cultural earthquake. Viola Davis didn't just wear her curls. She owned them, and in doing so, redefined what beauty, strength, and authenticity look like for generations to come. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, a vision of power, grace, and timeless beauty, twice denied by the Academy, yet eternally crowned in the hearts of millions. She's not just an actress, she's a force of nature. From her soul-stirring portrayal of Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It, to her regal command as Queen Ramonda in Black Panther. Wakanda Forever, Angela doesn't simply perform, she transcends. Back in 1994, the world waited for her to claim the Oscar everyone thought she had already earned. Her embodiment of Tina Turner wasn't acting, it was resurrection. Every gesture, every scream, every tear felt like raw truth. But when the envelope opened and the name Holly Hunter echoed through the hall, a collective gasp filled the room. Angela Bassett had been robbed, not of recognition, but of justice. Nearly 3 decades later, destiny seemed ready to right its wrong. In 2023, Bassett made history as the first Marvel actor ever nominated for an Oscar. The internet buzzed, the fans prayed, the industry braced for her long-overdue coronation. Yet when Jamie Lee Curtis' name was called instead, time froze. Angela didn't fake her smile, didn't hide her heartbreak, because how do you mask decades of being overlooked? That night, she didn't need a trophy to shine. Her poise, her sorrow, her quiet strength eclipsed the stage itself. It wasn't just another Oscar snub. It was a haunting reminder that in Hollywood, a black woman's perfection can be both her brilliance and her burden. Angela Bassett remains the queen who never needed a crown, because legends, after all, are immortal. Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington, once dismissed as not the right look, now a woman who redefined Hollywood's very idea of beauty and power. Long before she commanded the screen as Olivia Pope in Scandal or stole scenes in Django Unchained, Kerry faced doors that refused to open. Casting directors whispered that audiences wouldn't relate to her face, not because she lacked talent, but because her beauty didn't fit the industry's narrow mold. Too bold, too distinct, too unapologetically black. For years, she auditioned, smiled, endured, and walked away with the same painful silence. One major TV role was even ripped away at the last second, with no explanation. She was told to soften, to shrink, to blend in. But Kerry refused. She stayed the course, graceful, grounded, and quietly fierce. Then came Scandal. In 2012, the world watched history unfold as Kerry became the first black woman in nearly 40 years to lead a network drama. Overnight, she wasn't just seen, she was celebrated. 10 million viewers tuned in weekly. Magazine covers followed. Vanity Fair, glamour, in style. By 2013, she'd earned an Emmy nomination, something no black actress had achieved in 35 years. The same features Hollywood once rejected became her signature, the essence of her power. Kerry Washington rose from rejection to reign, not just as an actress, but as a symbol of what happens when you refuse to let others define your worth. She didn't just play the role of Olivia Pope. She became a real-life gladiator, proving that authenticity, in a world that demands conformity, is the most revolutionary act of all. Taraji P. Henson, the chilling truth behind her ageless glow. Taraji P. Henson, the powerhouse behind Empire and Hidden Figures, isn't just celebrated for her acting brilliance. She's admired for something Hollywood can't quite explain, a beauty that seems frozen in time. At 53, Taraji radiates strength, confidence, and a glow that defies age. But behind that radiance lies a story few truly know, a story of sacrifice, relentless pressure, and silent pain. From her earliest days in Hollywood, Taraji learned a brutal truth: black women aren't allowed to age. While her white peers continue landing leading roles into their 50s and 60s, women like Taraji are quietly replaced, written off before their prime. But she refused to fade away. She fought back, not just against time, but against an industry built to erase her. Even after Empire made her a household name in 2015, Taraji never let her guard down. Her mornings begin before sunrise, training like a fighter preparing for battle. Her diet is strict, her discipline unbreakable. But the hardest fight isn't against her reflection. It's against Hollywood's obsession with perfection. Behind closed doors, she's faced endless whispers, offers of fillers, facelifts, and experimental youth serums. She turned most of them down, choosing the harder road, the natural one. That decision came with a heavy cost. The pressure to look 30 when you're past 50 became unbearable. In 2019, Taraji admitted she needed therapy to cope with the depression it caused. "They want me to look 30 when I'm over 50, she confessed, her voice trembling with both pride and exhaustion. And yet, when she stepped onto the color purple red carpet in 2023, glowing with unstoppable energy, the world saw only perfection. Not the scars, not the sleepless nights, not the silent war she's been fighting for years. Taraji's beauty isn't just skin deep. It's born from resilience, defiance, and a spirit that refuses to break, even when the world demands she fade away. Regina King. Regina King, the beauty Hollywood tried to erase, and the 30-year revenge that redefined it. Regina King, the Oscar-winning force behind If Beale Street Could Talk, has always embodied brilliance, fierce, soulful, and timeless. From her earliest roles, her talent demanded to be seen. But Hollywood wasn't ready. Its narrow lens of beauty couldn't recognize the radiance standing right in front of it. Not because she lacked it, but because she didn't fit their artificial mold. In 1995, she walked into a Warner Brothers casting room. Confident, magnetic, unforgettable. Yet with one dismissive glance, a casting director uttered the words that would haunt her for years. "We're looking for a different kind of beauty." No explanation needed. Regina understood. Her skin wasn't as light as Halle Berry's. Her features weren't delicate enough for their standards. The role, and the glory that came with it, went to a white actress. For years, it continued. The 1990s saw her brilliance buried beneath safe faces and predictable casting. She wasn't just being denied roles. She was being denied recognition, denied the chance for the world to see her power, her worth, her beauty. But Regina King never broke. She didn't scream. She didn't conform. She fought back, not with scandal, but with excellence. For 2 decades, she built an unshakable legacy. One role, one performance, one refusal to be silenced at a time. She became her own revolution, a living reminder that a black woman doesn't need to shrink to be seen. The world simply needs to open its eyes wider. And in 2019, Hollywood finally did. At 48, Regina King stood on the Oscar stage, golden statue in hand, as the very people who once rejected her now rose in applause. But the irony was poetic. She didn't need their validation anymore. The war she began in that casting room ended not with surrender, but victory. She didn't change for Hollywood. She made Hollywood change for her. Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union, the ageless enigma behind the smile. For more than 3 decades, Gabrielle Union has enchanted Hollywood with her luminous smile, fierce confidence, and unshakable talent. From Bring It On to being Mary Jane, she's been a beacon of beauty and strength since the late 90s. But what continues to captivate fans isn't just her career, it's her seemingly ageless face. At 50, Gabrielle looks almost untouched by time, her red carpet glow in 2022 nearly identical to her debut 2 decades earlier. Naturally, the world demanded to know her secret. Was it genetics, diet, or some hidden Hollywood elixir? But Gabrielle's confession stunned everyone. In a raw 2022 interview, She said, "I don't age because I've been in constant extreme stress. That stress keeps me young, but it's also nearly killed me." Her radiant glow, it turns out, isn't born of luxury or privilege. It's the reflection of years of discipline, pressure, and emotional endurance. Since her earliest days in the industry, Gabrielle understood the cruel truth of Hollywood's double standard. Male stars could gray and wrinkle, yet still be praised as distinguished. Women, on the other hand, were expected to remain flawless forever. To survive, Gabrielle committed to a brutal routine. 4 liters of water a day, no sugar or junk food for decades, 5 intense workouts a week, whether she was filming 16-hour days or flying across time zones. Behind the perfection was exhaustion, fear, and the silent demand to never, ever let the mask slip. Now, in her 50s, Gabrielle stands as both a triumph and a cautionary tale. A woman who defied time but paid the price for it. The question remains, will Hollywood ever allow Gabrielle Union to age with grace? Or will it keep her trapped as its eternal, ageless queen, forever flawless, and forever fighting to stay that way? Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o, from ugly to unstoppable. They once mocked her looks. Now, Hollywood worships her grace. Lupita Nyong'o, the Oscar-winning star of 12 Years a Slave and the radiant queen of Black Panther, is more than a celebrated actress. She's a revolution wrapped in elegance. Her story isn't just about talent. It's about courage, beauty, and a quiet vengeance against an industry that once refused to see her. Born in Kenya, Lupita grew up in a world where light skin was prized and her rich ebony tone was ridiculed. She once confessed, "I prayed every night that I would wake up lighter." But destiny had a different vision. When 12 Years a Slave premiered in 2013, she didn't just act, she commanded. The world watched in awe as her performance pierced hearts and silenced critics. A year later, standing on the Oscar stage, golden statue in hand, Lupita didn't just win, she made history. In that single moment, she shattered generations of prejudice. Soon after, the beauty world followed. Lancome, once blind to dark-skinned ambassadors, made her their global face. Magazines that had long ignored women like her, Vogue, Vanity Fair, Elle, placed her on their covers. People magazine even named her the most beautiful woman alive, the first time a woman with her skin tone held that title. Every insult became her fuel, every rejection her motivation. With grace sharper than vengeance, she turned pain into power. Lupita Nyong'o didn't just redefine beauty, she became its living legend. Beyoncé. Beyoncé isn't just a performer, she's a force of nature. A global powerhouse who turned the stage into her kingdom and redefined what it means to be a superstar. With a voice that could shake stadiums and a presence that silences crowds, she transcends music itself. From dazzling in Dreamgirls to lending her voice to royalty in The Lion King, her legacy is etched deep into pop culture. But behind the sparkle and spotlight, a storm has been brewing for over 2 decades. One question refuses to fade. Is Beyoncé's skin getting lighter, by choice or by design? In her Destiny's Child days, Beyoncé proudly embraced her rich, honey-brown complexion, a reflection of her heritage and power. Yet, as the years rolled into the 2000s, fans began to notice something changing. Magazine covers, beauty campaigns, and music videos started showing a lighter, almost airbrushed version of the woman they once knew. Then came 2008, the controversy that shook the world. A L'Oreal ad hit the headlines, showing Beyoncé nearly unrecognizable, skin several shades lighter, eyes unnaturally bright, hair turned champagne blonde. To many, she no longer looked like the black icon they grew up idolizing, but like an image reimagined for white audiences. Accusations of whitewashing spread like wildfire. Over 70% of viewers in one poll believed her photo had been digitally lightened. L'Oreal denied everything, but the damage was done. For Beyoncé, the crossroads was cruel. Keep her natural glow and risk losing mainstream endorsement deals. or fit Hollywood's beauty mold and face accusations of betraying her roots. But in 2016, she fought back with Lemonade, a bold, unapologetic love letter to Black womanhood. She wore her deep brown skin with pride, flaunted her natural curls, and reclaimed her narrative with fire and grace. Today, through her Ivy Park brand and her art, Beyoncé celebrates women of every shade, rejecting the old beauty standards that once tried to define her. Her journey isn't about light or dark, it's about liberation, about taking back the image that was always hers, and reminding the world that true beauty needs no filter. Sanaa Lathan. Sanaa Lathan, the head-shaving shock that shook Hollywood. For more than 2 decades, Sanaa Lathan was the embodiment of grace and quiet strength. The woman who made us fall in love and basketball and The Best Man. Her beauty was effortless, her talent undeniable. But behind the red carpets and flawless curls was a silent struggle, one that every Black woman in Hollywood knew too well. On September 9th, 2017, Sanaa did something no one saw coming. With a calm smile and a buzzing clipper in hand, she went live on Instagram and shaved her head completely bald. Within seconds, the silky curls that had framed her identity for years fell to the floor. The world gasped. Hollywood froze. Over 1 million people watched within 24 hours. But this wasn't a stunt, it was a statement. For years, Sanaa had been told what beauty should look like. Straighten it, curl it, control it. Her natural hair, they said, wasn't camera-ready. But while filming Napoli Ever After, a film about a woman's liberation from society's beauty chains, Sanaa decided to live the message, not just act it. The moment she shaved her head wasn't just cinematic, it was revolutionary. That act of defiance sent shockwaves far beyond Hollywood. Black women everywhere thanked her for giving them permission to love their natural selves. No wigs, no weaves, no apologies. And as the last strand of hair fell, something powerful emerged. Sanaa wasn't diminished. She was reborn, radiant, fearless, and utterly unstoppable. With one bold choice, Sanaa Lathan didn't just reclaim her beauty. She redefined it and forced Hollywood to finally confront what it means to be unapologetically Black, feminine, and free. Nia Long. Nia Long, the timeless beauty who seems to have made a secret deal with time itself. For over 3 decades, the star of Boys in the Hood and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has done more than just act. She's mesmerized Hollywood with a grace that defies the years. When she first appeared in 1991 as Lisa Wilkes, her glowing brown skin, captivating eyes, and effortless smile turned her into an instant sensation. By 1993, readers of Ebony had already crowned her the most beautiful woman on television, and few dared to disagree. But what's truly remarkable is how that beauty never faded. In 2013, at 43, Nia graced the cover of Essence magazine, looking almost unchanged from her debut decades earlier. Radiant, confident, and wrinkle-free, all without the help of Botox, fillers, or plastic surgery. Even scientists took note. A 2016 Journal of Dermatological Science study suggested women of color, like Nia, naturally retain more collagen, giving them a youthful glow for longer. Yet Nia insists her secret goes beyond genetics. While others chase impossible beauty standards with drastic makeovers, she's chosen authenticity over artifice. Her secret weapon? Self-care, discipline, and a quiet confidence that shines brighter than any Hollywood spotlight. When the industry tried to label her past her prime, she simply proved them wrong, again and again. In 2022, at 51, she walked into the You People premiere and left jaws on the floor, her presence as magnetic as ever. No one can fully explain it, and maybe that's the magic. Nia Long doesn't just defy age, she redefines it. She doesn't follow beauty standards, she sets them. And that's why she remains one of Hollywood's most enduring icons, a living testament to ageless grace, power, and self-love. Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson, the rebel beauty who didn't just walk the Met Gala red carpet in 2021, she owned it. Known for her electrifying performances in Creed and Thor, Ragnarok. Tessa has never been your typical Hollywood starlet. She's a force, redefining what beauty, power, and femininity look like in the modern age. With her sculpted features, piercing gaze, and unapologetic confidence, Tessa has made Hollywood question its own definition of glamour. But her ultimate act of rebellion came on that unforgettable night at the 2021 Met Gala. While most stars floated down the carpet in glittering gowns and predictable elegance, Tessa arrived like a storm, wrapped in a towering crimson creation that was part dress, part armor. On her feet, rugged cowboy boots. Her lips painted a bold jet black that screamed defiance. The reaction was instant. Hollywood froze. Some hailed her as a fearless fashion visionary, while others were left stunned by her audacity. But love her or not, everyone agreed on one thing. Tessa Thompson shattered the mold. That night, she didn't follow trends, she destroyed them. She turned the Met Gala into her personal battlefield and walked away as a living symbol of fearless self-expression. Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish, the fearless queen who redefined what beauty looks like in Hollywood. She's not just the hilarious spark from Girls Trip. She's a woman who turned boldness into a movement. In 2020, Tiffany shocked fans everywhere with a raw, unfiltered act of liberation. During an Instagram live session watched by hundreds of thousands, she picked up a pair of scissors and started cutting off her own hair, strand by strand, before finally shaving her head completely bald. The internet erupted. Within 10 minutes, her live stream viewership jumped by 500%, and searches for Tiffany Haddish bald skyrocketed by 1,200% in just 1 week. But what made this moment so powerful wasn't just the shock value. It was what it represented. Tiffany wasn't breaking down. She was breaking free. When she stepped on her red carpets afterward, she radiated confidence. No wig, no filter, just pure, unapologetic Tiffany. Fans around the world took notice. Women began experimenting with daring new styles, inspired by her courage to defy beauty norms. Major fashion outlets like Vogue and Elle celebrated her for igniting a wave of authentic, non-traditional beauty. And when people questioned her choice, Tiffany silenced them with grace. Hair doesn't make my beauty. I decide if I'm beautiful. In that single act, Tiffany Haddish didn't just shave her head. She shaved away society's expectations. She proved that true beauty comes from power, freedom, and owning who you are. Danai Gurira. Danai Gurira, the bald queen who shook Hollywood to its core. She's not just the fearless Michonne from The Walking Dead or the unyielding General Okoye in Black Panther. She's a revolution wrapped in grace and steel. In a world obsessed with long hair and narrow standards of beauty, Danai arrived like a storm, bold, unapologetic, and utterly original. When Black Panther exploded in 2018, grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide, its cast radiated power and pride. But it was Gurira, her gleaming bald head catching the light, her eyes fierce and unflinching, who left audiences breathless. In one now iconic scene, she was handed a wig to appear more feminine. Without hesitation, she ripped it off mid-battle and hurled it aside. That single moment went viral. Searches for bald and beautiful skyrocketed by more than 700%, and women across the globe shaved their heads in solidarity. By defying outdated ideals, Danai didn't just make herself unforgettable. She changed the game. She proved that bald can be breathtaking, that true beauty shines through strength, and that standing out is the new standard. Her message echoed far beyond the screen. To every young girl who ever doubted her worth, Danai Gurira showed that beauty isn't about fitting in. It's about standing tall, standing proud, and daring to be different. Meagan Good, Hollywood's ageless enigma. Meagan Good isn't just another Hollywood beauty. She's a living phenomenon that defies time itself. Known for her unforgettable roles in Think Like a Man and Deliver Us from Eva, Meagan continues to leave fans stunned with a radiant glow and youthful charm. At 42, she still possesses the smooth skin, sparkling eyes, and magnetic confidence of a woman half her age. It's as if the clock simply forgot to tick for her. At the 2023 BET Awards, Megan set the red carpet ablaze in a figure-hugging gown that stopped time and traffic. Cameras flashed, heads turned, social media exploded. "How is Megan Good still 25?" one fan tweeted, echoing the disbelief that rippled across the internet. Within hours, searches for her age skyrocketed nearly 800%, and polls showed that most fans thought she was no older than 30. Talk shows couldn't resist joking. Maybe someone should DNA test Megan Good. She might be hiding the secret to eternal youth. But there's no magic potion behind her glow, just consistency, discipline, and self-love. Megan has mastered a lifestyle rooted in clean eating, prayer, peace, and an intentional skincare routine. She rejects society's outdated beauty rules and instead embraces authenticity, grace, and confidence. That's why Megan Good isn't merely admired. She's revered. In a town obsessed with youth, she stands as living proof that real beauty isn't about turning back the clock. It's about never letting the world tell you when your shine should fade. Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe isn't just an artist. She's a revolution wrapped in rhythm and style. Long before she became the star we admired in Hidden Figures, she was rewriting the rules of what beauty, power, and identity could look like in Hollywood. With her sharp tuxedos and electric confidence, Monáe turned androgyny into art, proving that elegance doesn't need to be feminine and strength doesn't need to be soft. When she first emerged in 2008 with Metropolis, the Chase Suite, the industry didn't quite know what to do with her. No revealing outfits, no seductive poses, no catering to the male gaze. Labels and designers told her she needed to change, to soften up, if she wanted to make it big. But Monáe stood firm. Her refusal became her signature. Her individuality became her weapon. And by the time she graced the 2019 Met Gala, dressed in a surreal, four-tiered gown crown with a blinking, all-seeing eye, she wasn't just making a fashion statement. She was making history. Time magazine later called it one of the most iconic Met Gala looks ever. But for Monáe, it wasn't just about the clothes. It was a message to the world. True beauty is freedom, the courage to exist on your own terms. Janelle Monáe didn't fit Hollywood's definition of beauty. She replaced it with her own. Naomie Harris. Naomie Harris, the woman who could make even James Bond forget his lines. Known for her radiant grace and fierce intelligence, Naomie has captivated audiences from her Oscar-nominated role in Moonlight to her unforgettable turn as the sleek and fearless Eve Moneypenny in the Bond franchise. But her charm doesn't just exist on screen. It has a power that spills into real life. Take that now legendary shaving scene in Skyfall. The tension on camera was undeniable, a perfect mix of danger and desire. Yet when the director finally called cut, the real magic unfolded. Daniel Craig, still caught up in the moment, could barely find his words before breaking into laughter and blurting out, "She's too beautiful." The entire crew erupted, and that unscripted reaction became one of the most talked about behind-the-scenes moments in Bond history. It was proof that Naomie Harris doesn't just play elegance, she embodies it. With every look, every gesture, she blurs the line between fiction and reality, leaving even Hollywood's most composed stars completely disarmed. Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer, the woman who left Hollywood questioning time itself. From Aquila and the Bee to Nope, Keke has been more than just a star. She's a phenomenon. With her effortless charm and timeless glow, she's defied the laws of aging for over a decade, leaving fans and talk show hosts alike completely baffled. When she appeared on Hot Ones in 2022, nobody cared about how she handled the spicy wings. All eyes were on her flawless, youthful face. The internet went wild, asking one question over and over. How does she still look 18? Overnight, Keke Palmer age became one of the most searched phrases on Google, hitting over 500,000 searches. Even Jimmy Fallon couldn't resist pulling out his phone on The Tonight Show to check her birth year. When 1993 flashed on the screen, he nearly fell out of his chair, joking, "There's no way, she's hiding some secret formula." But the truth behind Keke's eternal youth turned out to be refreshingly simple. No $500 serums, No experimental anti-aging potions. Just hydration, rest, and the kind of peace that comes from not letting age define her. As Kiki herself once said, when you don't stress about it, it doesn't control you. Maybe that's her real magic. A reminder that confidence, joy, and self-acceptance will always outshine time itself. Taika Sumpter. Taika Sumpter, a name that defies time itself. The stunning actress, celebrated for her luminous portrayal of Michelle Obama in South Side with You, continues to leave Hollywood in awe. Her career is built on more than just beauty. It's a blend of grace, talent, and magnetic presence that captivates both fans and filmmakers alike. But what truly keeps people talking isn't just her skill, it's her seemingly ageless charm. Back in 2022, during the casting discussions for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, some producers hesitated. Could Taika be too old to reprise Maddie's youthful energy? That question didn't last long. The moment she walked into the room, the air shifted. Confidence, elegance, and that unmistakable glow. She owned it all. One crew member even quipped, "She must be part vampire because no one that flawless can be over 40. After more than 2 decades in Hollywood, Taika Sumpter remains as radiant as ever. A living reminder that true beauty doesn't fade with time. It evolves, it deepens, and it keeps the world guessing. Letitia Wright. Letitia Wright, the barefaced beauty who made Marvel rewrite its own rulebook. Beloved worldwide as Shuri in Black Panther, Letitia didn't just capture hearts with her quick wit and sharp intellect. She captivated everyone with her effortless natural glow. Back in 2017, as Marvel prepared for filming, the makeup department had an elaborate look mapped out for Shuri. But the moment Letitia walked in, fresh-faced, radiant, and glowing with quiet confidence, everything changed. The artist holding the brush froze, then slowly set it down. "She doesn't need it," they whispered. Director Ryan Coogler agreed instantly, cutting nearly 80% of her planned makeup. And when the first trailer dropped, fans noticed right away. Shuri's face looked untouched, pure, luminous, and breathtakingly real. The internet went wild. Headlines hailed Letitia as Marvel's most naturally beautiful star. When asked about her secret, her answer was disarmingly simple. "I don't use much skincare. I just drink water, focus on my soul, and pray." To some, it sounded unbelievable. But to her fans, it made perfect sense. Her beauty wasn't something you could bottle or buy. It came from within. The calm confidence, the spiritual peace, the light in her eyes, that was her real glow. Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia Erivo, the rebel beauty who made luxury brands bow down. She's not just the powerhouse who electrified audiences in Harriet. She's a walking revolution. With her glowing ebony skin, fearless buzz cut, and unapologetic presence, Cynthia doesn't follow Hollywood's rules. She rewrites them. In February 2021, a top luxury label came knocking with a $7 million offer to make her the face of their campaign. But there was a catch. Their vision meant wigs, lighter makeup, and retouched skin, a sanitized version of her black beauty. Cynthia didn't hesitate. She pushed the contract aside and walked away. No compromise, no apology. The next day, she exposed the hypocrisy on Instagram, and the internet exploded. Within hours, hashtags trended, fans rallied, and the brand scrambled to clean up the mess. But Cynthia was already miles ahead, signing with Fenty Beauty, a place that celebrates authenticity, not conformity. Her message was clear: real power isn't in fitting in, it's in standing out. Yara Shahidi. Yara Shahidi, the fearless beauty who made Disney rewrite its own fairy tales. Best known for her brilliant turn on Blackish, Yara's presence goes beyond the screen. She's not just talented, she radiates a mix of grace, intelligence, and modern royalty. With luminous brown skin and effortless poise, she became the voice of a new generation redefining what beauty looks like. Then came September 2020, and a moment that changed everything. Disney announced that Yara would play Tinkerbell and Peter Pan and Wendy. For the first time ever, The iconic pixie wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. She was a mesmerizing Iranian-African star whose magic felt truly timeless. The internet went wild. Over 3 million tweets in just 24 hours. While critics clung to old fairy tales, millions of fans celebrated, finally seeing a fairy who looked like them. Yara didn't just play a role, she reimagined one. And she didn't stop there, gracing the cover of Vogue, becoming a Dior ambassador, and continuing to challenge Hollywood's narrow ideals. Yara proved that true magic isn't found in wings or wands. It's found in representation that makes every young girl believe she belongs in the story too. Amandla Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg isn't just a name, she's a movement. The beauty who shook the very core of global fashion didn't simply act in the hate you give. She gave the world a lesson in courage and authenticity. In September 2016, during New York Fashion Week, she made an entrance that felt like a cultural earthquake. With her head boldly shaved and her confidence untamed, Amandla sat front row, not to follow trends, but to rewrite them. Within 48 hours, her photo racked up over 5 million likes, and Amandla Stenberg Ball became one of Google's hottest searches. Teen Vogue didn't hesitate. They crowned her the ultimate Gen Z beauty icon. But Amandla was never about shock value. She was about standing her ground. When a major brand offered her $1 million deal on the condition that she lighten her skin, she walked away without hesitation. She went on to shine as a Fenty Beauty muse and graced Days magazine in raw, unfiltered glory. No retouching, no pretense. Amandla Stenberg doesn't play by Hollywood's old rules of glamour. She breaks them. And in doing so, she's redefined what beauty, confidence, and power mean for an entire generation. Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz, the rebel name that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. The fearless star of Atlanta and Joker didn't just mesmerize audiences with her acting. She shattered beauty standards right on the big screen. In 2018, when she stormed into Deadpool 2 with her wild, unapologetic natural afro, the industry froze. Studio execs pushed for straight hair, maybe some sleek braids, but Zazie refused. "Domino's a superhero," she said, "and she'll wear her real hair." That single act sparked a cultural earthquake. Within 24 hours, the trailer hit 10 million views. Twitter blew up with hashtag #AfroDomino, and Marvel's inbox overflowed with messages from fans thanking them for showing real representation at last. Overnight, Zazie wasn't just an actress. She was a movement, a face of change, a beauty icon. Soon came a $1 million L'Oreal deal, an Allure cover shoot, and a wave of studios forced to rethink outdated beauty rules that had defined Hollywood for decades. Who would have guessed that one afro could start a revolution? These black actresses aren't just stars. They're trailblazers rewriting the script of beauty itself. They don't chase trends, they create them. So tell me, which of these icons left you speechless? Drop your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more unforgettable stories from the world of fame, courage, and unapologetic self-expression.